Alright, welcome back, folks, to another cast. Kingsley and I are bringing you Joe from Cincinnati against Robosabre, a Scorpion player. Joe, being one of the vanguards of the Crab Clan in the Discord community. And taking a look at deck lists here, looks like Joe has finally broken the mold and gone away from the Unicorn Splash. We see a Scorpion Splash with 3 Fate Worse Than Death, 3 Meek Informant, and then 1 Backhanded Compliment. What do you think about that, Kingsley?
I think that I've heard a little bit of the strategies and stuff that people are discussing on this. I think that the crab unicorn alliance, which is traditionally considered very good. Some people are worried about that because of both large amounts of attachment control in the environment and also anti-Voltron cards, like a Worse Than Death.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It looks like this deck is playing a Fate Worse Than Death itself. Meek Informant provides some good information. I'm not sure how I feel about 3 Meek Informant when you already have 3 Policy Debate, but
Meek Informant serves two roles in this deck. It's also good. It's also Witch Hunter food.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Sometimes you can then just buy Witch Hunter and then pass, as opposed to being forced to buy a low drop out of your dynasty.
That makes sense. We don't see any Sword or Seal of the Crab here. And the Backhanded Compliment I actually think is kind of nice, simply because when you switch off the Unicorn Splash, you often lose a lot of potential dishonor. Simply because the Unicorn Splash lets you bid low and draw with Spyglass.
Yeah.
So Backhanded Compliment is kind of a way to maybe maintain a little bit of that dishonor pressure, despite not having the Spyglass available.
The Unicorn Splash and Crab has always felt kind of high rolly to me, where people always bid low, and then if you draw multiple Spyglasses on a Watch Commander, you can't lose. But then if you don't, you just can never win. It's just one of those things that it's like when the stars align, the low bid Unicorn just steamrolls people.
Yeah, personally, when I play the Unicorn Splash, I like to draw high until I have the tech that is going to let me go low and still get cards. But the downside is with attachment control as prevalent as it is right now, it's not so reliable to, even if you have a Spyglass, there's a fair chance they're going to have a Let Go. Especially when we're dealing with Scorpion decks that are playing Let Go as a splash card, which I actually really dislike.
So we see real quick the game has started. Just to note on, the only reason I didn't really talk about the Scorpion players list is because it is Chris Furtop's list. So.
And he is running the Let Go Miyamoto's Furious Splash. I actually don't like this splash very much at all. I think putting Let Go in a Scorp deck is weak, but
I don't think it's that bad.
Several players disagree with me.
Yeah, I disagree with that it's bad. The reason, Let Go costing 0 is a really big deal, and you don't always want to steal the attachment that you're let going, right?
Yeah, so I do think Let Go is a good card. I just think that I'm not sure it's the best thing to use your influence on.
In this deck, or in Chris's deck, I think it's better than Tattoo Wanderer. You don't that's not the goal of the deck, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have pretty unusual opinions on Scorpion deck building, I think. But we'll see how this goes.
So we have Joe flips 2 small characters and double Iron Mine. So normally small characters are really susceptible to being assassinated, but because Joe flipped double Iron Mine, he is insulated.
Yep. Iron Mine is quite a strong card.
Yeah, you don't. I think that's an understatement. I think the fact that because it can flip on a broken province is just it's pretty insane.
Joe swinging Earth here with his Caillou Envoy, and it gets dishonored with Way of the Scorpion. But he did find Meditations, which is a good find. That is not going to do anything here.
That's also the province he wants to flip, because once his characters end up with
farm that later.
Yeah, once his crab characters end up with no fate and sit around for 3 extra turns a lot of the time, and so Joe plays a skirmisher to force the issue.
That seems reasonable. If there's another way of the Scorpion, this will be a sad, sad situation for
Not
Joe.
really, right? Like, so Way of the Scorpion is card negative is card negative against Caillou Envoy. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, so he's already done it there. I mean, if you play a skirmisher and they use a Way of the Scorpion to counter it, you paid one for something that got countered by
yeah,
something,
yeah, yeah. That's
and you lose an
reasonable.
honor.
I do think that Way of the Scorpion is a higher impact card than Haruma Skirmisher. Maybe not against Crab because they don't have that many targets that it's.
Yeah, that's a good point. If this were against Dragon, in them to play Wave Scorpion on a skirmisher would actually be really good for Dragon. In a lot of the time, because there's just way more impactful targets.
Interesting.
Crab's low glory. Miramoto's Fury comes out. Okay.
No, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, so yeah, so he plays Fury. Did he use City of Lies?
Looks like he.
Did not.
Yeah,
So
he played a card, so he went to 7, but then he passed first. Yeah, it looks like he forgot the City of Lies.
a small misstep. All right, we'll see if the Scorpion player keeps City of Lies the whole game. We've seen Scorpion players tend to keep City of Lies the whole game, and then just like not have anything.
I do think Crab might well be happy about seeing that Miramoto's Fury used here to prevent an Earth Ring, but a non-break.
Oh, absolutely. That means that you traded.
Oh, he's going for the Earth Ring himself, and he hits Defend the Wall.
This
If
could be
this
really
Shuri
scary.
Yusuke can defend, this could be a huge reversal.
We'll see a Watch
for-
Commander come out for Joe.
I'm not sure I like that play. I think I would want to use the Shuri Yusuke first.
Why? You're safe.
What are you safe from?
Assassination?
I'm thinking about Fate Worse Than Death. I guess it would be bad to play it.
I would
here
say
anyway.
I think I'm okay with my opponent Fate Worse Than Nothing, my Shurisuke.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh man, this is going to be a big win for Joe because it looks like his opponent is passing, and that means that we're going to see a Defend the Wall trigger for this Earth conflict plus the draw from Shuri Yusuke.
Well, no, we're gonna see a Keeper activation too, so Joe's gonna get a Fate and resolve the Earth Ring.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You don't typically see the Keeper rules providing very much fate. I think we saw it once in one of the games that I was streaming in the last 2 days. I think a Phoenix managed to win in the game against Shoot, at one point Shoot did a water conflict and Phoenix was able to win it and get a fate. All right, man. Really big win there for Joe.
Oh, and there is the Fate Worse Than Death.
Wow.
Do you play? I think I play Fate Worse Than Death because I hit Defend the Wall.
If not for the Iron Mines, I would play it. The Iron Mines make it a lot more dubious.
It is, but like, so is the swing of this Defend the Wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Like, your opponent, like, you would be trading 4 Fate, and then you dishonor this Yusuke and knock him out.
4 fate and you spend.
Well,
a card.
he also played Watch Commander first, right? So you would
Yeah.
so he would not get the Yusuke activation. So you're trading 4 Fate for 2 cards, 1 discard from you and a Fate. I think I would play it there. It doesn't feel good. Don't get me wrong. It definitely feels bad, but I would still play it.
Yeah, so you would spend 4 fate card and honor. Wow, no conflict character there from either player. That's really unfortunate for Scorpion.
This has felt like the norm for some of these players who have kind of copied Chris's deck. I've seen a lot of Scorpions copy his deck. I really have not seen any other Scorpion execute it to his same success.
Well, we're seeing an Iron Mine being used to save the Haruma Skirmisher. To me, that indicates that there may be a potential Way of the Crab.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Or, he's thinking, I would discard this anyway to get more characters because I don't want to keep 2 holdings. I may as well actually get use out of it.
Well, you could stagger them. You could stagger them for your Shurisuke. Joe is playing 3 Fate Worse Than Death, so he does have the ability to stockpile Fate and use it for something.
Yep. Okay, we're seeing a bit of a...
This flop is not that great for Joe. Haruma Yojimbo not great in this matchup where Scorpion's not gonna the defender is not so good against a clan that's not gonna be attacking you too much.
I'm kind of surprised he's playing Haruma Yojimbo. I don't much like that
cut a
card
Caillou
myself.
for him.
Oh, I guess it's a 1x card. So
Yeah,
that might
It's -1 Shuichi, +1 Yojimbo.
But he's also -1 Crisis Breaker. I have
No,
to say,
2 Crisis Breaker is pretty much what everyone is on right now.
I'm on 3.
It's just what did you cut then? Are you on 7 holdings?
I have a fairly different. I think I have a fairly different overall approach on some things. I think I cut Borderlands Defender completely.
Oh, see, I think
And
Borderlands Defender, especially in a meta of For Shames and Fate Worse Than Death, I think Borderlands Defender is too good. Also,
yeah,
I like having 3 Paul. It makes Borderlands Defender is one of the crab cards that lets you play Policy Debate very safely.
yeah. So I don't play Policy Debate, and I don't play Mountain Does Not Fall either.
See, Mountain Does
And
Not Fall. I'm okay with, mostly because of the same reasons, right? Policy, For Shame and Fate Worse Than Death. But when you have
yeah,
Borderlands Defender, that's a great target to hit with Mountain Does Not Fall also.
that's the other thing. I have kind of an old deck. It might actually be like outdated at this point, but I'm still on the Unicorn Splash, and Crisis Breaker is one of the best cards for using Spyglass.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even in Unicorn Splash, I was on 2, mostly just because I couldn't find the space for the third. The thing about Crisis Breaker is it's just not. It's not that great against your bad matchups. You're already good against the military clans right now, based on how, like, you can just use Policy Debate to help against Lions. So we see a Calling in Favors coming out here to steal the Watch Commander.
I will say I think Crisis Breaker can help a lot against Dragon.
Kind of. I don't know. I've never found that card. I usually can just outmuscle that card. It just, I guess it depends on the situation, but I can usually just go over the top. So, Illusionist dishonors to Calling in Favors. The Illusionist will be able to remove the status. We see another Skirmisher come out here. So, just gonna attack Meditations again. Probably probably Void Ring if I had to guess.
Yeah, to me, Void feels pretty strong in this situation.
Oh, I know. So he's gonna do Fire, but I don't know why. So there's this.
Fire, yeah, I don't.
Well,
think
there's this
good with
Illusionist
that.
in play, right? So like, if you honor your
Yeah,
own character, it's just gonna get it removed, and if you dishonor the Liar, that'll get removed. So Edict is still on.
yeah, I think this is actually quite a bad ring to choose with that Sushi Illusionist on the field. But maybe he has other effects that he'll use.
That's
Like
fair.
maybe he's gonna dishonor the Liar and then later go for a court games on it or something.
I like going for any of the other 3 rings with Fate. Air brings you up on honor a little bit more. It just gives you back to 9. That's probably the worst out of the 4, or the second worst out of the 4. But then I like Void to void off the Illusionist with the Stolen Watch Commander, and then I also like Water to bow the Liar. Interestingly, he did not. Did he activate Mia Satoshi? It doesn't look like he has. If he hits Karada District, he can steal his Watch Commander back. Or I guess reclaim his Watch Commander. Interesting. Joe's going for the break on Meditations. If I'm Scorpion, I let Meditations break here.
Yeah. It does look like he's going for a breaking strategy instead of an honor strategy right now. So it might be.
Yeah, I
He
like.
might figure he may as well just get started.
See, I like going for building on my advantage first against Scorpion, especially against this style of Scorpion deck. That once they've spent all their cards to stop conflict wins, you can just start running them over.
Yeah, I'm a fan of building incremental advantage and then just sort of doing the, like, taking whatever path to victory presents itself once you've established a lead.
You just kind of lean on them, right? Like once you gain an advantage, you just start leaning. You just kind of chop their legs out and then lean on them.
Yeah. Especially with Crab, where they have a good ability to start pressuring the opponent on honor as well.
So he does.
Miasatochi's honored.
Yeah, but that's just gonna that can just get removed from or by the illusionist if he so chooses.
Yeah, I can't say I'm fond of this against an illusionist.
Yep. And so they pass through. Probably. Oh, this Joe might have a policy debate here. So if Robo attacks before removing the honor status, it makes the policy debate bit a lot easier. That's the only thing I can think of why you'd want to go this line.
Hmm.
So attacks with the illusionist first, and then hits. Is this meditations?
Ouch, yeah, that's
This
not
is
so good for...
really, really good for
So
Joe.
good.
Joe just has to deal with one turn of this stolen watch commander now.
So we do see the Yasuki defending using its ability. There's a policy debate, and both players bid 1.
That is so risky. Oh man, I would not have been one if I was Joe.
I wouldn't have bid 1 if I were playing Scorpior instead. Robosabre is very bold to bid 1, but it pays off.
Yeah, maybe that's why Joe bids one here, because it's just very unrealistic for your opponent to bid one.
Yeah, or he's concerned about the honor pressure.
Oh, see, now I know why Joe bid one. Joe has double assassination in his hand. So, like, you just can't afford to throw honor away if you are going to later on throw honor away.
Looks like Robosabre a little worried about that hand.
So, double assassination, charge, court games, 1 weak informant, 2 fans. There's the policy debate I was talking about, double rebuild, reprieve, mountain, a second watch commander, and there's the way of the crab that we were talking about. So, because Joe is going to have characters for days with these, he has an Iron Mine in play, and he has 2 rebuilds in hand.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we see the Crab Stronghold coming out, and because this deck plays no stat buffs, Crab Stronghold is enough to hold. And this is kind of the weakness we were talking about when people were discussing when they first saw this list. Like just Chris's deck is just weak to Crab. Like just the way that Crab plays the game.
Mm. Say more about that?
So like Crab basically, like a lot of the cards, like a lot of the control cards, are about getting big characters off the board via them having no fate, right? Or via them not having or being able to like deal with the reprieves. But Crab has 2 non-reprieve ways of keeping big characters around via Vanguard Warrior or Iron Mine / Rebuild. So 9 out of their 12, Outlast effects are just great against what the Scorpion's trying to do. And because the Scorpion deck has no stat buffs, you see Crab has to defend minimally, and then just gets to keep building up the board. Like we see Joe up 5. We see Joe's up 4 cards. You know, he's only slightly down in honor. Like, I think this is the threshold of honor you want to be behind the Scorpion in. So, you know, you keep the box turned off, but you're not so low that you risk being dishonored. So we see Skirmisher, or not Skirmisher, Meek Informant comes out. We see Debate, Assassination, Kachiko, a For Shame, a Swim, an Edict, a Fury, and a Fate Worse Than Death. I mean, that's a pretty strong hand for the Scorpion player. These, if he's had this Assassination, these Iron Mines have just been a thorn in his side. Interesting that Joe plays 1 Fate on this Meek Informant. What do you think about that? I think I would have put 0 Fate on my Meek Informant. And then I would just do a air attack. I'd do Political Air, and I would just poke with my Meek Informant.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because all the provinces to attack you are bad. And so you just don't want to risk me a Satoshi hitting Shameful Display. So...
Another option would have been to play with 0 Fate and then Scout.
Play 0. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You play 0 and you Scout. You just don't attack with me as Satoshi this turn.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You play 0 on the Meek Informant, and then you just go look for... You basically... I want to find Pilgrimage now. I think Pilgrimage should be the next province Joe tries to break in quotation marks. Even Shameful Display can be fine, where you... The one negative thing here is if Joe hits Shameful Display, Robo can play Kachiko and then have an honored Kachiko. It looks like Joe is leaving the Meek Informant back even though Robo has no conflicts. I think I would go air here, right? And then you can take the Void as your first attack next turn for the 2 Fate. What are your thoughts? I think air or earth are the correct choices. Obviously, Void having no impact.
So traditionally, Crane is...
Interesting. Joe decides to pass his conflict opportunity. I think I definitely would have taken the opportunity to scout with my Meek Informant.
Yeah, I don't think this is so good, actually, because it also means that Robosabre... Or no, I guess Joe is going first next turn, so this way he can get 2 Fate on some ring.
Well, yeah, sure, right? But if you take the air ring Fate this turn, you then get to take 2 off of the Void ring.
Yeah, I don't like this, because then now his opponent can take 2 Fate off one of the rings.
Well, yeah, and then it forces your opponent, if they want to Fate off a ring, to go into an Earth conflict into you, and we've seen that go awry already.
Yeah, so I think I would like to make a conflict. It's possible if he's simply scared of the secret cache.
I mean, it's reasonable, but like you have to attack these provinces at some point, like.
Yeah, exactly.
You just want to find it. Yeah. Shameful Display plus Kachiko is the actual worst case scenario. But yeah, that's what I'm saying, Eric. You have to attack eventually. It should be 2 Kachiko. Red tail. Yeah, this is
I
Chris's
think he has
list.
2 copies. Let me confirm it with the deck list.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, 2 copies. We saw people playing 3 of those for a time, but that's sort of fallen out of fashion.
Yeah, I think 1 in... Oh, okay, cool. Hey, what's up, 4Jim? I think 1 is correct in, like, a normal Scorpion list, if you're going to play her at all. And then... Yeah, Eric, we know for sure he has 1. And I think that 2 is a concession to this deck's lack of breaking power. I mean, yes and no. Like, you have to attack eventually. Like, the Kachiko's not going anywhere. You're gonna hit Shameful Display at some point. We see Shoju getting bought now.
Well, Shoju... I often consider Shoju a better, though admittedly less surprising Kachiko.
No, I'm glad Shoju got bought. I think Shoju was sick. It's just very surprising because the Scorpion players just tend not to buy Shoju.
Yeah, I've been confused by that actually. I think Bind Shoju is very strong, and I've definitely seen a bunch of games where people have neglected it to maintain more fate in hand. But we'll see if he can do some work in this situation. The one thing is he's got to watch out for a potential Way of the Crab.
Yeah, no. Well, Joe has the Way of the Crab in hand, so playing these characters with no fate is a little loose. Maybe you could
Yeah,
put
it's
one.
quite risky.
You could put one on the. I think you could put one on the Soshi, and then basically bait an assassination from Joe. Joe does have two in hand, and it'll tank Joe's honor. Heinzel's saying if he plays Kachiko, it'll probably become Dishonored later because Joe can Way of the Crab during Dynasty because Joe's going first. That is also true. Yeah, so maybe that is smarter than to attack and get the Kachiko out. Yep, and so Joe hits Shameful Display and a Paul attack. If Robo has a policy debate here, it would be very strong. You can defend with your, you can defend with Shouju if you want. No, I would probably defend with my Actress.
Is there a particular card you would want to take from Policy Debate?
Way of the Crab.
Way of the Crab, yep. Seems
Something that Way of the Crab that doesn't force me to play my Edict. I want to save Edicts for Fate Worse Than Death in this matchup because it's such a huge swing. Defense with Shouju, I'm not sure I like this. I would not defend with Shouju. So here's the problem. You're gonna get one action and then Joe's gonna leave. Because he has this favorable ground. So you get your action of you get Shameful Trigger or you can get a Policy Debate. And then whatever the action is, Joe's going to leave immediately after, so you only get one. There we go, and now we see the Actress being used to defend. I like this. I like this better. You want to use Shouju to threaten breaks also.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at cards that can be taken. We have Akayu Envoy is actually pretty strong to take with Shosura Actress. So you just get a character and then you can go ahead and grab the fate in the card afterwards. So Joe plays Rebuild onto a mine.
This, I might be playing Joe quite soon in the bracket. I think that if Joe wins this game and I win my first game in round of 64, Joe and I will play each other in 32.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of what happened to me last season, where you get a hard group and you just, you have a good record, but you don't 7-0 or whatever, so you just have like a middle of the pack seeding, and so you can just end up with situations like this. But I know I look forward to that. I now feel that Crab is the hardest matchup, against good Crab players. Also, the fact that they can just naturally flip Karada District and make the game so much harder. So, if you're Robo here, you probably just attack Defend the Wall, just to not risk the 50-50 on Shameful Display. Probably Void, Political Void on Defend the Wall. Yep, so we see him political void on defend the wall. If I'm Joe here, I just don't defend, right? Like,
Mm.
there's one fate worse than death in hand for Robo, and Joe did not have one when we saw his hand. I don't, this is so risky to defend. So you could, I guess with the crab stronghold, you're a little bit safer. But this is really risky. So there's the first action, Watch Commander, not surprising there. Do you go after this Hiruma Yojimbo now with Shoju and the Soshi? Oh, looks like we're gonna see Fate Worse Than Death on Miya Satoshi first. If Joe has Fate Worse Than Death here, I would potentially fire it off on Shoju now, and then burn the City of Lies activation on a Forged Edict. So there's the Fate Worse Than Death on Miya Satoshi, not surprising. And we saw it looks like a court games to dishonor Shoju. So here's a fan to save the Yojimbo. I think Joe actually has 2 fans, so he's actually quite safe on this. Actually, Joe might be able to defend this. We'll see, though. Oh, no, there's a for shame to dishonor. Joe needs to play another fan now. Or he's still in range to be killed by Shoju. We see the 2 glory getting in the way here of the Yojimbo. Shoju's ability has not been used, Heinzel. The actions so far have been court games to dishonor Shoju, followed by Fate Worse Than Death on Miya Satoshi, followed by fan, followed by for shame. So we see Soshi being used first. I don't like this. I would use Shoju's ability first to force action on Joe, because then if Joe passes, you can then use the Soshi to immediately kill. Now Joe can use favorable ground and retreat and not risk dying. Well, you can crab box first if you want to bait out. If you want to use one activation of Shoujo, you can crab box. Yep, and that's what we see right here. This dishonor Shoujo is a big deal actually, because he needs to have a courtier in Fate phase to save his Shoujo from Way of the Crab. Oh, there's a policy debate. Okay. Both players bid 1 again. We see Joe's hand is not that great. Fan, double reprieve, Mountain, rebuild, and Way of the Crab. It's fine. It's just not good against what Robosabre is doing right now. So Robosabre should take the charge or the Way of the Crab. I would probably take charge because Way of the Crab has a cost to it. If you're going to counter one of those two, you want to counter the Way of the Crab. So you take charge here, strand this Kasada on the Dynasty row, and then Joe will have to actually play him next turn, and then you can deal with it from there. I'm almost takes Ornate Fan. I do not agree with that. I would take charge and then use my Edict on the Way of the Crab. Like, Joe's just gonna leave a favorable ground. Yep, Joe loses a favorable ground, not surprising. Like, you get a break, that's fine, but I definitely don't think that's what you want to be doing. You want to basically choke the resources. So there's the break, and we did see a court games to re-honor Shoujo. This does let him have Forge Edict available. Oh yeah, we saw an assassination too. My bad. So we saw assassination being used, and so we see the iron mine being used to save the Shrudusuki probably. If I just scroll up in the chat. Oh, to kill Hida Guardian. Sure, to kill one of the small characters. Joe does have another rebuild. We're gonna see Shameful get attacked here. The actress is gonna get used here. Actress can bring back the Caillou Envoy. Yeah, that would be good, Eric. I agree. He needs to stop this charge, because this Casada being around for free is not gonna win. You're not gonna win the game that way. So Shrudusuki gets activated first. So actress cancel. So Edict cancels rebuild, not charge. This is so awkward. So if you were just taking one of the events that you were gonna cancel, it's just so much better than taking this fan. Like, I would definitely have taken anything other than the fan. Yeah, and so now Casada is here. So the charge resolves, bringing Casada in. Like, this is just, how are you gonna win? Oh, no. You can Shameful. So you can Shameful to dishonor Casada, and then you can Icon Swim Casada. Yeah. Shameful honors Shrudusuki, dishonors Hida Casada. You can then Icon Swim Hida Casada right now. No, but, oh, from policy debate. Yeah, you're right, Eric. You're right. And then also reprieve. Yeah, also reprieve. So yeah, I just look. I'm trying to find lines on why Robosabre has chosen to play the game the way he has, and I can't think of any good ones. So I'm trying to think of some not so good ones. That's so aggressive. He just plays Fate Worse Than Death on Casada. He hasn't even used the actress yet. Wait, he should have just used the actress. Why didn't he use the actress to bring back Caillou Envoy? I cannot say that I like the way the game has played out for the Scorpion player here. Yeah, he didn't activate Shameful either. Yeah, now Way of the Crab is gonna kill Shoujo in Fate phase. So we're gonna see reprieve on Hida Casada. Probably you don't keep me a Satoshi here. Interesting that he does. I don't think I would have. I think I would have saved the reprieve for next turn to reprieve my Casada again. I'm not so low on honor that my character dying is bad. We head into Fate phase, the actress not being used, and now here comes Way of the Crab. Yep. And so Shoju's gonna die now. Robo's gonna go down to 3 honor. Also, Reprieve now can't save Kasada from I Can Swim. The Watch Commander is nice, but like I just would prefer to save my Kasada for more turns. Kasada is so hard for this type of Scorpion deck to deal with, especially when they're low on cards. They don't have a lot of equitable actions to burn. And we see a Vanguard Warrior right on time for the Crab player. Yeah, City of Lies is definitely the best thing you can use to burn. But it's still not necessarily something I want to do. Yeah, and now we see the board coming out here. Like, Scorpion is not in a position to battle this. If Joe draws another Way of the Crab here, we could just see Hero get Way of the Crab. So we see City of the Open Hand being used to steal and honor. Joe does have 2 dishonor characters, but only one is going to leave play this turn, most likely. Joe does have 2 assassinations in hand or has he played one yet? No, yeah, Joe has 2 assassinations in hand, which are actual dead cards at the moment. So I don't know if I would have been 2 there if I was Joe. The Stronghold's already been used. Like, it's pretty aggressive to go down to 3 with 2 dishonored characters in play. You don't know what could happen. I think bidding 1 there is actually correct. Especially given the way the board state is. So Joe has 3 real cards in hand. Let me see if I can parse what they are. There are 2 assassinations. A mountain does not fall. And then 2 unknown cards. Yeah. 2 assassination, mountain does not fall, 2 unknown cards. Yeah, shoot. Action Joni looking good. Wait, we see a... Does Joe have any keepers? He didn't activate Mia. So, Hero A runs in a Shameful Display. We see Mia Satoshi getting honored. And now... Joe is just gonna be able to... So, Robo has to... Joe has favorable ground, too, so, like... Hero doesn't even do anything. Just reminding Joe that Feast or Famine is indeed the best province in the game. I don't think it's that close. Shameful display while swingy can't win you the game on the spot. Oh, and Joe does hit a Keeper Initiate with his Mia Satoshi activation. And so, we're going to see a Keeper get brought out here from Keeper of Earth. So having no reprieve for this Kasada is he's gonna get swum, unless Joe has another save effect. So City of Lies gets cancelled by Kasada. Haraway moves Kasada. Kasada's gonna get Icon Swum. No, I think Shameful Display is better than Restoration. In a vacuum. In more situations. Oh yeah, you can favorable gun Kasada out. You're right, Zergling. That's my bad. He has to remember to do so. Oh, this works. He just can take Icon Swim now. Or you can take Hachiko. Either one works. But you can't attack with Kasada then, so I think he's going to take Icon Swim here. Oh yeah, of course, they both bid 1. Yeah, I'm sorry. So, like, I'm just used to Scorpion bidding higher than, maybe you're supposed to bid 2 here then on the policy debate? 2. Yeah, so then the Scorpion player should bid 2, right? Or they should have been 2 on draw. Yeah. So the Scorpion player should have been 2 either on the policy debate or on the draw to make Icon Swim alive. I don't understand why Joe's complaining that's a quality hand. It's you put good cards in your deck to draw them, right? If I looked at anyone's conflict hand, they better be good cards. Or I feel like they made an error in deck building. Chooses to pitch Kachiko. Yeah, right. So if you bid 2 on either the draw or the policy debate, well, I guess it would have to be the policy debate because the policy debate would override the draw. Then you can threaten Icon Swim. Yeah, shoot. Or they're a unicorn. Then their conflict hand might look a little awkward. But there are a lot of good neutral cards, so you never know. There's a favorable ground on Kasada. So if I'm Joe, I break Shameful Military with Kasada, Military Water, and then I stand Mia Satoshi, and I go political with Satoshi looking for, hopefully, Pilgrimage. Mountain doesn't fall on Borderlands Defender, interestingly enough, instead of Mia Satoshi. He knows his hand. I think I would have gone after and kept Mia Satoshi standing. Right, we know the hand. What could have stopped this? Nothing can stop this. The Borderlands Defender. Yeah, Joe misclicks with his Vanguard Warrior, very clearly not wanting to put a fate onto his Keeper Initiate. I'm almost certain he was trying to attack with both of them, and just misclicked. Yeah, exactly. Thought he was picking attacker stuff. The real question is why don't you just solo break with Kasada? Military, Kasada, Shameful Display, Water. You know your opponent's hand. Your opponent can't stop Kasada. Oh, Miyamoto's Fury. But no, the Scorpion player has to use an action to stop Miyamoto's Fury. And so they would have to play Adaptive Shadows, attempt to return Adaptive Shadows, and then Miyamoto's Fury. That's like so good. I would military. Yeah, Sure, like that's still 2 cards. Hit Secret Cache. Political air hit Secret Cache. I would not have done this. I would have done water first. I just do water first. You could also just do political. You could do a solo attack. So you could do Borderlands Defender, water, solo at Shameful Display. This is why I think you should have mountained Satoshi too. So if you mountain Satoshi, you can do political water with Satoshi into Shameful Display, and then you have political favor, and political favor makes your opponent play another a character and not just Fury. And they lose an honor for every card they play in the conflict with Mia Satoshi in it. So I think if Joe just had stood Mia Satoshi with Mountain Does Not Fall, does political water or political air if you want to pressure dishonor, that's fine then. You then can threaten the break on Shameful. You don't risk hitting Secret Cache, which is what happens right now. And you then threaten a break, forcing your opponent to play cards. If your opponent defends the break on the first attack on Shameful Display, you then just send Kasada over on military to break. As it stands here, Joe has 1 unknown card and 2 assassinations in his hand, so he really needs to lean on his board to be doing the heavy lifting, and so not, like, I definitely think my line is the line that gives Joe the best efficiency with his cards, and it taxes your opponent's card efficiency the most. Yeah, exactly. The Scorpion player is literally saying, I don't know how to play around Kasada here. You, like, that's why the Scorpion player not taking charge that one turn is just coming back to bite him. Like, Kasada's been on the field for one fate. He stuck around with another fate, so 2 fate, and has had a Kasada for 2 turns. And the Scorpion player had to play a fate worse than death on a no fated Kasada. So we see unassuming Yojimbo gonna covert past Kasada, but Borderlands Defender is just gonna be able to defend this with the Borderlands Defender defending plus Crab Stronghold, and the Crab Stronghold is enough to stay. Yeah, it's this isn't even that bad, right? So like, then you just Fury the only attacker. You have to wait. You have to burn an action still to do this. Fury doesn't even work. Like, no buffs means like the Scorpion player can't win a conflict. Whatever character he doesn't covert blocks, and then if it's Borderlands Defender, Crab Stronghold puts him at 4, and 4 is more than the Scorpion player can manage because this deck doesn't play any buffs. Sure, you just defend with Kasada here, keep Kasada ability active, then you just attack solo Borderlands Defender, and your opponent can't. No, as much as I would love to go to Paris, I live in the United States, and I do not have the money to travel to Paris. I think it would be awesome. I would absolutely love to go. I have not done much travel around Europe. Mostly when I travel abroad, it's to places like Singapore, and India, because I have family there. I do have family currently. I've been to Holland too. I spent a lot of time in Holland. I have an uncle who lives in Utrecht. But And I have an uncle who lives in London right now, so I definitely have places, but Paris is definitely someplace I would have loved to go. If you're gonna see me, the next paper tournaments I'm gonna be at are Gen Con and Worlds. You just block with Casada. Pagona Barbada, like, yeah. Oh, he stealth Casada. I see what you're saying. Sure, but Watch Commander comes out, so that's gonna be off the table now. Wait, he's dead. He has to win this conflict. If Joe has, actually, I guess Joe might not have enough buffs to stop the win. Oh yeah, Defender has Mountain does not fall. Yeah, of course. That's why you had to stealth the Borderlands Defender. So, like, the Scorpion player was just in a spot where they couldn't win anymore. They had lost control of the game. But I think... tips for a Dragon player for the meta. I think the meta is very favorable for Dragon. I think Dragon is actually just very, very strong. You basically just have to know all your matchups. You have to know how to play each match. You have to be prepared for Scorpion. You know, whether you decide that's going to be Finger of Jade or Censure, any combination of those. Just having a couple of those has really helped that matchup a lot. You know, I'm still tweaking some things, but that's about it. Yep, and that's going to be game. Robo realizes that Mountain does not fall, is going to have the Borderlands Defender. Oh, Joe just assassinates the... Joe didn't even have to play the assassination. Who cares? Interesting. You could have just played... You could have just not played the assassination and then done military fire. But Joe just, you know, Joe still had all these from Cincinnati. And that's it. And so Joe wins via Dishonor. I think he was going to win via Stronghold Break also. On the next turn. And so that's going to be the game. I will see you guys for the next cast. I don't think there are any other games casts going for today, but we'll see. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for interacting in chat, and we'll catch you guys later.